Hey, I have to do a quick interjection here. So this is the bankroll. Okay, this is the bankroll. This is what we have now. We didn't do well on a parlay we had last week, but we're coming back strong, and I guarantee you we will double this bankroll. You will see. Hey, so if you've come across this video, consider yourself lucky. I don't make these videos for the public, for the general public. It's strictly for our community, the pro schmo community. I don't deal with the nonsense on YouTube. All these cappers popping out of nowhere with green screens and microphones now, who do a disservice to us, because the more confused you drive the public, the more confused you have your followership, because you think that Ketlin Souza is going to knock out Angela Hill, or because her grappling must be better than Angie's, or she knocked out Haregui, so she's powerful, yet she's had reconstruction surgery on an ACL. And no one's talking about that, right? How you have to pull the hamstring to replace the ACL. No one's talking about it, right? So how is she grappling Angie? Right? So the point of the matter is this: I don't make these videos for the general public. I make them for our community. All right? So anything you're going to hear on this channel potentially is shit you're not going to hear online. And the reason why this is a disservice is because the more confused you have the public, the better the casinos. The better the casinos are going to have on the payday that they're looking forward to, like with this fight night event. All right, we take every word online right now. It's Chaos Williams, the underdog of the card. He's going to finish. Oh boy, here he's gonna finish this guy, Gabriel Bonfim. Gabriel Bonfim is chinny, and you're very far from the truth. All right, if skills pay the bills, right? Gabriel Bonfim has been fighting grapplers and strikers alike, polishing, developing his game, while Chaos Williams, who you don't see much through the years, is someone who's just facing strikers through and through. Okay, some might even say he lost his fight to Bedoya. So anyway, the point of the matter is there are things that you're going to hear on this channel, rightfully, because we do not want the casinos to win. That's how it is, week in and week out. We want to make sure that our bets align in a way where we take from the books don't take from us. Okay, that's it. Simple. I hope that makes a lot of sense to you guys. All right, we're going to move up and on, and we're going to open up the fight card with Cavalcanti and Julia Avila. All right, pay attention. If you want more information about our predictions, bets, you go on proschmobets.com. Hey, join the chat groups. It's worth it to you. It's worth it to you. Everyone's talking about how Jesus Aguilar is the dog of the card. How is he the dog of the card against Estevam? Because everybody's voting on Tapology that Estevam is going to submit or knock out Jesus Aguilar. And well, Aguilar's got a great guillotine, and he's got Darce chokes and things on his record, and he's a good striker. Folks, he's the shortest ever flyweight on the roster. And you're telling me he's the one that's going to defeat Estevam? Folks, you're out of control. Here we go. Jacqueline Cavalcanti, Julia Avila. C-section, Julia Avila, not so long ago. She's from a graduating class, okay, with Panini Kinziad, who just got cut, Julia Stolarienko, so on and so forth, right? Just like you have Brandon Moreno, Kai Kara France, Pantoja, Royval. That's a graduating class. She had one. So that's gone now. All right. It's past her. It's Jacqueline Cavalcanti, as tall as the trees with great striking. She's got good clinch work. We just seen her take on an opponent in France, and she's very deserving of this spot here. So Julia Avila is certainly losing this fight against Julia Cavalcanti. Walter Walker, Dante O'Mays. Hey, man, listen, Dante's got hands, but he's no Jamal Pogues. I'll give you that much. He's got small heart syndrome, and for the life of me, despite his cornermen telling him, hey, you got a counter. Hey, take this guy down. Hey, you got a single leg available to you. He just can't seem to close it. And sometimes you need IQ. It's not just the height, weight, and reach. It's the IQ, and Walter Walker's got it. All right, if anything, if you're apprehensive about Walter Walker because you saw his fight with Bresky and you're like, man, Walter was having a hard time, well, Walter Walker's large enough as it is. him facing Bresky was like facing Alexander Volkov. It's quite challenging. And then if you doubt the submission he had on one of these brothers, who's this guy? One of the Taffa brothers. That was clearly a submission. The guy was shouting. And Walter Walker is just a great grappler. He can wrestle. He's going to handle Mays on the ground. It should be a boring decision. And that's all she wrote. This is an overwhelming lock. Walter Walker is someone the UFC's eyeing. They just cut the heavyweight division down to 30 men on a roster, and it's for a reason. Vince Morales, he's polished well. His striking has polished. When they kicked him out of the UFC, he went on to the regional promotion scene, and he did well. United Fight League, he fought someone there, Hunter Azuru. Man, he got himself a Peruvian necktie for the win. But Vince Morales has only polished up, aligned his striking. But the power, the speed is all the same. The pace in which he takes his fights are all the same. He doesn't risk anything, and the reason for this is because he has a tendency to not getting knocked out. He's been, I think, finished once, and he has a trauma to it. You can see it in the way he fights. Elijah Smith is not someone that I delight in, but clearly this is the side. He's incredibly versatile on the feet. He's got a great shot selection, good sequence in striking, and he's a wrestler first. He's got a base for wrestling. Vince Morales has got good scrambles, but he cannot control you. All right, he cannot control you on the mat, and that's going to be a problem here. Elijah Smith is the side. He's the money line. But and despite having a grappling wrestling edge, we have to take note that this young man has no round 3 cardio. Absolutely not. Can he pace himself right now in which he has a camp? Yes. He's from Colorado, where the altitude is yay high, and he still struggles. He suffers in cardio, and that is not a good look. Vince Morales fought Taylor Lapilus in France, and again, he's aligning his shots well. He's looking clean, but the speed, the power, his agility, the dexterity, it's all pretty much the same. This is a 34 going on to a 35-year-old, and what's impressive is that Elijah Smith is going to keep this fight very close. For a 22-year-old, that's impressive. All right, and that's why we have Elijah Smith on the money line. Moving on, we have Gabriel Bonfim, Chaos Williams. We were just discussing this earlier in this video, right? So Chaos Williams, problem here. He's been fighting strikers his whole career. Let's look at the typology. This is Chaos Williams. All right, folks, we're going to spend some time here just to review guys he's fought, like Bedoya, who people think that, the split decision should have gone to the Peruvian, right? He beat Carlston Harris. The guy's like 40 years of age. Randy Brown, right? He lost. Folks say that, he may have won that fight. Miguel Baeza, I don't even think he's in the UFC anymore. Same with Matthew Semlisberger. He's a slugger, folks. A slugger. All right. Michel Pereira, we know where he's at. And then a straight right. Abdul, everybody gets him with a straight right. Okay. So and then if you look at Gabriel Bonfim's fighting Trey Waters. He's fighting grapplers, wrestlers, strikers, all one and the same. All right. He can chain his wrestling with his he changed his striking with wrestling quite well, man. He's a well-rounded fighter. All right, look at that. Trey Waters, Munir Lazez, Giles, Dalby, who's a clincher, right? And he pressures you so hard against the wall, man. He takes the breath out of you. Angelusa, who's a boxer, okay? And now you're fighting a boxer in Chaos Williams. It's Gabriel Bonfim on the money line, folks. And I think the Bonfim brothers are going to celebrate a win. They're both winning. 100%. You got Rafael Estevam, if we're moving on. Jesus Aguilar, he's the shortest flyweight on the roster. Rafael Estevam is like a whole inch or two taller than Pantoja, and nearly almost the same fighting style, man. He's pummeling you. He's mauling you on the mat. And I think all he's got to do here is jab, keep his distance if he wants for a round. Strike with, Aguilar, as Aguilar paces and moves around with good footwork, showcase some of his striking he's been working on so hard. and then it's over from there. Round 2, round 3, if they get there. Rafael Estevan, dominant unanimous decision or finish, man. All right, so we're moving on, and then we have Jared Gordon. I don't like fighters from Kyrgyzstan. They don't have a good camps out there, so I'm not. Ruziboev, I'm not impressed with. Jared Gordon, we've seen what the striking is like. It's incredibly consistent, and he's from Queens, New York. He's from where I was born, and I think he's winning this fight. If it would be anything close, it's because Gordon will be 37 years of age this year. Ketlin Souza, she's had a ACL reconstruction, autograft, meaning you have to pull from the hamstring to replace the ACL, and then let it heal this way. Okay, it's a traditional ACL reconstruction surgery. She's powerful. She looks for that puncher's chance to finish. She only finished Haregui because Haregui is not defensively sound. She's available for you to hit. And Ketlin is just swinging those arms. Angela Hill's straight punching. She's a good kickboxer, and she's got the jiu-jitsu. I love that she is 40 years of age. She is the first Black African-American UFC fighter on the roster. And there were many close decisions through her career that I believe she should have won. And I really believe this is the lock of the night. I think the UFC is doing her a huge favor and through her retirement day on Saturday. All right, I do believe she's putting the gloves down. All right, and she'll start podcasting and doing what she does with her best friend. But I think they gave her Ketlin Souza here, and Angie should win this fight. Overwhelming unanimous decision or submission. And that's all she wrote, man. An incredible, very deserving win, and a great way to go out. Great way to go out for Angie. First Black African-American UFC female fighter in the UFC. Isn't that cool? Jose Delgado, Connor Matthews. I'm going to give you guys a description, all right, in the comment section below. I will also provide the link to the website. And if you want a hot take on this fight, just click on the link, all right? And it'll lead you to what you need to click. We're going to go with Rodolfo Vieira against Andre Petrowski. Petrowski's a powerful guy. You've seen what his striking could be like as he chains it with his wrestling. We saw it against Budka, Dylan Budka. And Rodolfo Vieira is very powerful. One thing I like about this fight is that Rodolfo's strike sequences have become much faster. Very predictable. He usually utilizes about the same approach. But Andre Petrowski will download his reads and should wrestle with Rodolfo to wear him down, because that's the thing that Andre has that Rodolfo doesn't. It's the cardio. This is anybody's fight, ideally. I think the line is heavily in favor of Vieira, and the reason for that is because Vieira, again, has been improving through the last two fights. Yeah. So if you place him on a grid, you put a software overlay on Rodolfo, he has more volume. His speed is much faster than usual. His power is very consistent despite the age of 35. And then if you give him the grappling edge, I think Andre would have it because of the cardio. All right, that's the one thing that Vieira has not been able to improve much. So once they go into round 3, it's anybody's game. If you're a live better, that would be cool, to bet. I like Ismail Bonfim, Nazim Sadikov fought Evan Elder, and it was an accidental headbutt that gave him the win. When he fought Terrence McKinney, he held against the wall there. And, I think he was warned once, held it again. And that's how he was able to maintain top control. I saw McKinney, could not believe the power, the strength. And it was all due to that fence grab. And McKinney, that's all she wrote. He lost, right? He got submitted by Nazim Sadikov. Sadikov is a striker, whereas Ismail Bonfim is a grappler. But he chains that takedown incredibly well, man. He'll throw an overhand as he's coming up for a single leg. He's diving on you. He's incredible, this guy. And that's because he's training with his brother. His brother's a great grappler, whereas Ismail Bonfim is a good boxer, brawler. I think Nazim's days are numbered here, okay? I'm not impressed by his wins. And when he did fight Borshev, the scrambles, they all look well against someone who does not have a wrestling base, all right? And that's Borshev. We just saw him with this outing last week. And despite Nazim being incredibly tall, man, I think Ismail Bonfim will handle him well. Very deserving of this win. Ismail Bonfim, only reason he lost that fight to Benoit Saint-Denis is because no one was expecting the kicks to the rib and the takedown, all right, and the submission attempt. Edmund Shabazian, man, this guy is washed. Dylan Bodka on the money line. I understand he was clinched to death by Andre Petrowski, but Dylan was going through things. His father had passed away. Dylan also had a botched weight cut. There's so much that Dylan was had to deal with. It was a lot of adversity, but Edmund Shabazian has no excuse. He's been in the UFC so long. You're going to see someone that's been in the UFC endlessly against someone who just debuted and is 25, only 2 years younger. So Edmund should also be fighting at the light heavyweight division. He should not be a middleweight. All right, Dylan is oversized welterweight, but I'll give him the middleweight division. Edmund Shabazian, he tried to bully his way. He could not make that happen at all. Calvin Kattar, man, you know, if Calvin Kattar is surely healed from any ailment in the knee after that fight with Arnold Allen, if he really committed to this camp, he has a fight promotion outside of the UFC. I don't know if you guys know that. He's the founder, CEO, and, you know, he's always working the production behind that. It's a lot of work, the matchmaking. And, yeah, you know, if he really focused and he honed in, he's winning this fight. But what I think is ideally going to happen is Youssef Zalal's winning by knockout, believe it or not. And I think that Topuria needs people, okay, in the featherweight division in which he can fight. And they're not going to set him up with guys like Josh Emmett or Calvin Kattar. I should say Calvin Kattar or anyone from the rankings as you see right now, because Topuria's already washed them all. So it's Youssef Zalal breaking into the rankings here, okay? Youssef Zalal's going to have a ranking to his name, all right? He'll be the UFC flyweight number 10. And now we have Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodriguez. Again, striker, grappler, delight. It's like the theme of the night here. All right, Gregory, man, he was absorbing too many hits early in his UFC career, all right? And that initial contract, man, this guy was getting hit too much. And he made certain adjustments, and I really enjoy watching him now. Not only is he in love with striking, but he's got so much better. It's like he understood how to align or calibrate the power and the shot accuracy, because what a problem that was for him. And then he has the grappling in his back pocket. Jared Cannonier, the UFC's not doing him any favors here. He also attempted to blow the whistle on the UFC. I think the UFC is fed up with him. Jared had disclosed to the media that he felt he was treated unfairly. And, you know, they proved to Jared that it's not simple, man. It's not so simple to stay at middleweight. All right, it's not. So you have to really put in the work. And you also have to know when your time is up. All right. So despite him having issues financially and making that known to the media that he was struggling, and, you know, if you take a look, that the man was provided great fights and a good purse. Derek Brunson, Adesanya, Strickland, Vettori. UFC said, we've provided you with your opportunity for a title shot, man. We gave you the win for Sean Strickland. Like, what else do you want, right? So we're going to put you up against Nasruddin Imavov now, Chael Barallo, and now we're giving you Gregory Rodriguez, and you're not winning any of them because you just cannot edge those fights out. You're one-dimensional. It's over, man. Pacing the way you do, buying yourself time with that great cardio, you're not knocking anybody out, Cannonier. That's a problem. I used to think that Charles Oliveira was incredibly skillful, well-rounded, and could potentially be a sustaining champion. But that is until I saw actually we bet Islam Makhachev, while the world bet Charles Do Bronx. Now the reason why, it was always in the back of my mind. I said, there has to be something here as to why the UFC would make Charles Oliveira just in haste sign a new contract and face off with Islam Makhachev, right? I mean, they didn't let the man marinate in his win. Go celebrate with the family. Absolutely not. They told him turn around and get to this fight, just like they've done with Aljo, right? And Sean O'Malley. And so the reason for that is because there is no upside for Charles Do Bronx against wrestlers. You just can't do it. You can't do it. So they've proven it with Islam Makhachev. They've proven it with Arman Tsarukyan. And with Mike Chandler, it was very close, man. It could have gone any other way. And Mike Chandler had a powerful overhand that almost finished Charles Oliveira. So they make statements, The UFC knows what they're doing. They got the best science, best software in the world for it. And the same thing goes here now. After Vettori, and we know what a slow puncher he is, he's plodding forward. There's absolutely no way that you're going to finish or attempt to win a fight against a guy like Nasruddin Imavov, who also grapples, or a powerful, striker like Chao Barala, who can also submit you. And now, you for all that shit talking, I'm pretty sure Gregory's knocking him out. So it is what it is. This is a lock of the night, man. Gregory Rodriguez is a lock of the night. All right, folks, so you heard it here first. For more information, follow us at ProSmokeBets.com. Yeah, we did bet the Eagles. We bet the Eagles. We took the entire NFL bankroll and we smashed it on the Eagles. All right, it's what we do with the UFC. We build up the bankroll. Okay, we build up the bankroll and we drop 100 units on what we consider an outlier fighter. All right, outlier bet because of the money line, the edge, everything. All right, going for us. Now, yeah, you heard it here first.